Hi, my name is Keith Adams, and I collect Magic the Gathering, Misprints, and Oddities, and recently I acquired an unreleased Magic the Gathering set. It's called Spectral Chaos, and we will share that with you today. The moment Alpha was released, it was readily apparent that Magic was going to be a huge hit, so one of the things that needed to be done was we needed to have new sets designed. Many of these early sets were assigned to small groups of individuals. However, Spectral Chaos was assigned to one individual, and that individual was Reich. And Barry had nearly everything that you could possibly imagine pertaining to this set, and it had been in his basement for over 20 years. In this set, it had a multicolor theme, and it also had themes that involved what to do if you were completely tapped out. This set was a very well done and very thorough set, and it is a shame that it was never released. It was outdone by the fact that we quickly got the set Legends. Legends was our first multicolor theme. And with the usage of things to do while tapped out, that was also covered in alliances. So there were several design bits to this set that just kind of got used in other sets, and Spectral Chaos kept getting kicked down the road. Spectral Chaos eventually became the spark for what we now know as Invasion. Before I go into detail, let me explain to you how I found Barry in the first place. One of the things that interests me are the early playtest cards, and I had found a way to get a hold of some of the individuals who were involved in the early playtesting. And I specifically asked these individuals if they had any cards from Alpha. And when I found Barry, he said, yeah, I've got all these Alpha cards, but they're buried in my basement with all this crazy stuff that I have from Magic, and it's going to take me hours to locate it all. And so I half-jokingly said, hey, I'll come to your house and help you clean up your basement. And surprisingly, Barry said, that's fine, you feel free to come on over anytime. And, well, Barry lives about 10 hours away from me. But I thought, hey, this is the perfect opportunity to see what is lurking in an old playtester's basement. And when I got there, surprisingly, yes, I found some Alpha playtest cards, but I also found a wealth of information pertaining to Spectral Chaos and many other crazy, unheard of Magic items. There were two very important things that Spectral Chaos dealt with. One, it dealt with multicolored cards. There were many cards that were at least two colors, or if they were monocolor, they oftentimes had an advantage that dealt with playing another card. For instance, you would have a card and it would cost 1 blue, but it would tap for 1 white mana, or cards that gave advantages or disadvantages to playing other colors. One of the other things that Spectral Chaos dealt with were chaotic cards. There were chaotic lands, chaotic creatures, and chaotic spells. And these had advantages and disadvantages to running those cards. You could very well parallel it to like Snow Covered, in which you had great things or bad things happening to you if you had such cards. And with the chaotic lands, they were essentially chaotic dual lands. Now, Legendary was not a thing yet, so how these were worded was, it would say you cannot play a copy of this land if you already have one in play. One of the more notable things about Spectral Chaos was how it could have very well affected Legacy and Vintage. There are cards that I like to call off-color dark rituals. For instance, there is a card, it costs 1 white mana to add 3 green to your mana pool. There is also 1 red, add 3 black to your mana pool. And this would have greatly changed Legacy. But don't despair, a few of these cards have actually seen the light of day. Most noticeably, there is a card, it is an artifact that costs 0. You get to sacrifice it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and we saw that card in Tempest. Even though Spectral Chaos never saw the light of day, it still was the idea for Invasion. The multicolor theme, the kicker, all the cool things that you remember about Invasion really started in Spectral Chaos. And I'd like to share with you some of the really cool cards that Barry Reich himself created. Thank you, Barry, for letting me help you clean out your basement so that I can share this fantastic set with all the Magic players out there.